Hey there, welcome to the Rogue Table or the Rogue Trader table. So I am actually going to try to play on unfair difficulty, and I'm analyzing like what's the difference. And the big one is when you go to unfair, the ability for the enemy to dodge your attack and hit you when you're in cover is a lot higher. So cover bonuses won't be quite as good for you. It takes longer to get your party momentum up, which could cause potential issues with you know because we like that carnival of misery, right? um and then the NPCs are a lot tougher, not our companions but the ones we're fighting against. And then the skill checks are more challenging. And then last but not least, the enemies have 80% extra wounds, so they're going to have 80% more health, all the enemies. And the damage that's dealt to the party is 20% higher, which that's probably the one I'm most concerned about because we've had plenty of times where we almost died. Um, so that could be a real big deal, especially in some of the battles where you get party wiped before you even get a chance to go. Um, and then the other big concern I have is the number of wounds required to get your first injury is now one third basically. Um, it was one half on daring. And then the number of rounds before it becomes an old wound, the injury, is just one, whereas before it was three. And then before it becomes a trauma is just 2 rounds, and I think it was 5 rounds before. So the the injuries pile on and degrade so much quicker. The space combat is harder. I'm not too concerned about that one. I felt like we were doing really well with space combat in most of our um, endeavors. There were a few that were challenging, but it was more of a timing issue. Like if I would have just waited, I would have done better. But anyways, the big thing about hard difficulty: 80% more health for the enemies. A lot harder to take them down. That's key. Number one. Number two, the injuries pile on easier and degrade quicker. And then number three, the skill tests are going to be like I did probably pass 90% of my skill checks, whereas now that is going to be a failure much more often. And then it looks like they're going to be able to do more damage to you in general, which is what you would expect for unfair. But I want to give it a try. I um I started to play Pathfinder: Wrath of the Righteous, and I'll be honest, I didn't like it. Um, it was, and maybe it's because I like this one so much, I'm having a hard time transitioning back to that. But you would think with the fantasy setting, I mean, I have to confess the Pathfinder rules are very intricate, and um, the prologue for that game is extremely boring, and I was just having a real hard time getting into it. Whereas this game, I love everything about it. So I'm gonna try the more difficult challenge. Now, with that said, I do have, we always want to plan our party, right? Who's gonna do what, and I have my main and other characters up here. This was from my last playthrough, so I will go ahead and delete all that. But I sort of just did it all right here. So basically, I want to make my main character a skill monkey. At least that's what I'm thinking about. Um, I want to have Abelard as an assassin, Kasha as an overseer, Argenta as archmilitant, Cabela as an executioner, and this one I'm not as sure about. I'm I need a healer. So in the past, who did the healing? It was Heinrichs, and I might still use him because I actually think he's a better healer than Pascal will be. I just don't know. Um, and then so the other one is I'm missing Jay, who I think is one of the best characters in the game. Jay is the best character because of the skill monkey capabilities. But if I'm going to be a skill monkey, I don't need Jay. And then the other thing that's missing is I should probably have a fire executioner, which I know I said is like overpowered, but Not when you're playing on hardest difficulty, it's not. So I have like all these needs, which I'm not addressing. So Cabela sort of replaced Heinrichs. And I haven't like actually played Cabela fully to I just have a feeling that she's a really good executioner if I gave her a try. And and I also want to try something different, new, right? But really, Heinrichs, she took Heinrichs' spot. And what I'm concerned about is yeah, I got a person that's probably even better at being an executioner, but um, I'm losing all the healing. So I might put Heinrichs in here. This one I'm forcing, just because I need somebody who shoots. And maybe this one is a bad choice, because she misses a lot with her burst attacks. And to be quite honest, the burst attacks, they're nice. They do take down large groups of enemies, but they also hit friendlies. And considering how hard this game difficulty just amped up, I may not want that. And she's also very squishy. So I'm sort of question mark on this one. And, another squishy one would be Earliot. But at least I have a sniper. So snipers don't hit friendlies. She at least won't miss like Argenta does. But the Arch Militant is nice. Anyways, that's my debate. Kasha, the Overseer, and Eagle is good. I mean, it's really hard to argue with that. And if I don't have Jay and her Eagle, then I would need Kasha and her Eagle. Um, there's a lot of damage to be done there. The other one I'm maybe being stubborn about is Abelard. You don't need Abelard. I could replace him with other things, but I just think, he's thematically my most favorite one. I can't go on a mission without him. I mean, I played a playthrough without him, and I used Solomorn instead, and I missed him the entire time. So, is this the best party? I don't know. The healing is my concern. So we have Heinrichs and a Fire Executioner. Now, the Fire Executioner, I need to look at my main character, because, like, what am I going to do? I think I can go Psyker, Executioner, and be Skill Monkey. I gotta go in, and I don't remember all the menus. So I have to see, and I'll show you real quick here what I'm thinking of. Alright, so if I choose Unfair, Custom Character, I don't know what I want to look like yet. Who did I pick last time? He's always respectable. That's who I picked last time, was that guy. There's only so many guys to choose from. He looks like a... because he's got the sword, he's more melee. I don't even know what that thing is he's holding. He's like holding the cords for whatever that device is that's floating above his head. I don't know what that's supposed to be. I mean, they got some really cool looking women, but we're not playing as a woman character, of course. That's probably more like my body type. But he's too goofy looking. That looks too much like Theodora. He looks pretty cool. Definitely got Crime Lord vibes. So does he. Really good Imperial officer look. The Dogma look. See, these are psychers here, but they just look too crazy to me. And then this is really lazy. It's the same exact one as that. And this is the same exact one as that. They just put a helmet on him. That's all they did. This game definitely needs more pictures. But anyways, let's get back to... Let's just pick the first one and quit being so...
Fit for the Fon Phalanxius Annals.
For the Emperor! The best defense is a good offense.
That's who we used last time.
Whispers, guide my hand.
Applaud my...
My supremacy is proven once again. Done and done. Didn't see that one coming, did you?
Sort of like that one.
For the glory of the dynasty, I'll bring...
Stay faithful, and you will be rewarded.
He sounds too much like Abelard.
Perfect.
Right, we'll do the daring one. Okay, this is what I was worried about. I think I can get away with it. So if I do Fortress World... See, I'm gonna get, Oh, Fortress is not the one I'm thinking of. Forge World. I get Intelligence and Toughness, but no Fellowship, which is fine. But I can take this Calculated Relations one, where I get 3 more skills that's based off of my intelligence. And then here I can get a critical hit chance. I can get bonus to my dodge. Or I can just get toughness armor. And I actually don't know. Like, obviously this one is based off of intelligence, which I plan on boosting. It'll give me a really high crit chance. But if I'm going to be a psyker, I don't need crit chance. That's the problem. Although, I guess... What does it say? I think... Yeah, see, range attacks and melee. Give me a second, let me look up something. Okay, I was correct. If you're a psyker, critical hit doesn't matter. So that's where this sort of falls apart. So, why am I doing this? Well, my plan was, I'm going to go for an intelligence character. See, I get the toughness, I get the intelligence, take the calculated relations, and then I can be a skill monkey. I don't need Jay as much. As much as Jay is awesome, she is squishy and weak. And if we're going to be playing like with a lot more hit points and a lot more everything else, I probably need, I think I need a little more firepower. Now the one nice thing about Jay though is she's an officer. And my current plan is only Kasha will be my only officer in the game. I'm not sure if that's a good plan, to be honest with you. Officers are good. Then the last thing is I become an officer, but I don't want to do that. I have thought about, okay, what if I do a high intelligence character, then I'm going to be doing what? Shooting? Some kind of, shooting gun? Maybe, walk around with a flamethrower? I don't know. Like, there's some things like that that make sense, but at the same time, I don't know how much it makes sense. So, anyways, the other thing is, we could make Argenta, instead of shooting like a gun, a machine gun type thing, she could just shoot, because there are flamethrowers. And so she could put everybody on fire, which sort of takes away the need for a psyker. Like, you don't need a psyker then. Or I could choose to not be a psyker. Oh. Yeah, let's not be a psyker. And then let's take the critical hit chance. Oh my gosh. That might actually really work. And then maybe I can take Argenta out and replace her with even Adira and bring back the fire goodness or whatever. But, okay, let's do that. So my original plan was to be a Psyker and, you know, take the toughness and willpower. And, then we were going to choose Pyromancy. That was the original plan, because I proved in the one playthrough that it's the most powerful thing in the game. So if it's the most powerful thing in the game, why am I skirting and deciding not to do it? Well, I think it's because I'm going to use flamethrowers instead. So I'm going to try to use flamethrowers and try to do the same thing, but that way. Now, the difference, though, is that Pyromancy hits everybody on the board. I mean, it's really good. I can't tell you. But if I make myself a flamethrower person, then I can replace Argenta with Adira or one of the Psykers that already comes in the game and still get what I want. So that's where my thoughts are. Yeah, the Pyromancy thing is really, really cool. But with that said, our homeworld gave us intelligence and toughness. We chose that. So I need to choose. If I'm going to be a flamethrower person, that's a ranged attack. One more second, I gotta look something else up. Okay, so I'm having a midlife crisis before I even finish my character build, which is not good. So the dilemma is, I want to use Argenta. There's a big plot story thing I want to unlock with it. Also, I just think she's good. The bolt shooter method of using her works totally fine. In fact, she was doing really great damage. You have to get all the way into a quarter of the way into Act 2 before, because she wildly misses with her shots. But as you get her ballistic skill up, she does get better and better. But then the question is can I make her into a flamethrower executioner type build? The answer is yes. So then it was like, well, hey, hold on. I'm going to do a skill monkey. So maybe I should be the flamethrower executioner type person. And the question is maybe I still should. Now, why was I even contemplating it? Well, the Forge character gets an intelligence. Their primary focus is an intelligence. So what does intelligence do for you? And this is where I have a handy spreadsheet here. Intelligence gives us boosts to all these skills, which is great. But look at this one thing in green. Area attacks. Intelligence boosts area attacks. So what that is that's when you, let's say you have 3 enemies that are, standing near each other, and you shoot at the ground in the middle of them. Because it's an area attack. So you aim for the ground in the middle, and it's going to hit all the enemies around. So it'll hit all the enemies. That's what I mean by area attack. And then I think, we can look it up when we dig into the game some more, I think this might be specific to Flame and Melta area. Like, I think it might specify that. But again, flame attacks is exactly what we're talking about doing. So that's what I mean is like I can still go for it, and with the high intelligence, if you're taking advantage of what you're already going to be good at, well, I'm going to be good at a high intelligence. Well, what does that get me? Well, I can start focusing on flame or melta guns and do well. Now the problem is Argenta also does that. So then it's like, well, but hold on a second. She doesn't have high intelligence. And they have there's a soldier skill. And I have it up here. First of all, there's Crushing Faith is not correct. It's Flensing Faith, which uses willpower to boost damage against demon, psychers, and Xenos. But there's this Demolition Engineer skill, that uses their demolition instead of intelligence to determine range attacks. So, um, so every 10 points of demolition instead of 10 points of intelligence will cause the damage. So you don't have to be an intelligence character to do these flame shots. So here's my debate. I can only bring 6. So I can have a flamer. I can also have a bolt gun shooter. I could also have a melt-a-gun. I could have all 3, really. But then it becomes, okay, I still need my healer. I still need my bleed toxin person. And that's what Cabela or Heinrichs are, right? And then it becomes, do I really need Abelard? And that's the sad part, is I don't. And the funny thing is the one thing that he does, though, is he's going to be super strong at withstanding damage. And everybody else is going to be squishier. And the other thing is I don't need to make myself into a skill monkey. I can use J. So this is where my mind is swirling. Like, what's the right path here? And the Psyker Executioner Flame, or Pyro, is tried and true excellent. It's an excellent, excellent way to go. The question is if I make my main character that type of person, I'm focusing on willpower, because it's a must. Willpower is the key to the game. And then I don't have the skill monkey covered. So then I absolutely must have J to help fill in the skills, and to some extent I may also need Pascal. So like these two are your skill monkeys, Pascal and J. And by making this person who I intend to do, what I was hoping to do was eliminate the need to have both of them in my party. And my thoughts with Pascal is he can get a skull swarm, and those skull swarms can heal party members and also boost momentum of anybody that's within their range. And Pascal also has the ability to actually, it's called a mitochondrius or something like that. He can actually, go around and truly heal people. But so can Heinrichs. And that's the dilemma I have. So, I think where I'm landing is I think I do want to try to create a flamer type character. And I want to make her a Melta type character. And now, why her? Well, because, it's nice to have an officer, and I actually really do like the Eagle. I think the Eagle is one of the better ones. This one I just think is going to work well, but here's my problem. She is replacing him. Like, these two are redundant. Having 2 melee characters. He's your heavy armor melee character, of course. As much as I have emotional attachment. Sentimental, that's probably the better word. So sentimental attachment. But I need to take him out, and we gotta put Heinrichs in for healer and then force sword. He'll be good for that. So then if we have Kasha for Eagle Overseer, Argenta for Melta, Cabela for Executioner, then I could do Idira for Pyro. I think that is the best party for this type of game with these kinds of difficulties. The only thing is, like, I actually am heavily considering putting Abelard in, just because I feel like some guy with heavy armor like Abelard might be the reason we survive some battles. This is a very high offensive attack with very little, survivability in there. Anyways, that's my plan. So we're going to move forward with the whether or not I'm going to actually be a flamer or a melt-a-gun. That part I don't know, because I could make me the melt-a-gun and then make her the flamer. I think that might be better. But anyways, let's jump in, because you build them the same way. And this critical hit chance bonus will work probably better with the melt-a-gun. But it would also work with the flamer as well. So this is where the advantage is. Argenta does not have that. She does not have that intelligence advantage. And then yes, I was considering making him a pyro, but we'll change that. And I definitely don't want an arbitrator. See, this is a nice intelligence boost, but I don't need the fellowship. So let's keep going. This, of course, is what Argenta took. That is no good for us. No good. We don't need weapon skills. We need ballistic skills like him. Somebody needs to take athletics. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we don't have that covered very well. That's where Abelard comes in. He was your athletics guy. Oof. Yeah. That's a tough call. But anyways, I think we might end up keeping Abelard and just not doing Idira. So that means we're not doing the Pyro path. I don't know how much I want that, because that Pyro carried me in my last game. So I really want to make this game harder. And having Argenta as a flamer is not better than having a Psyker. Wow, the decisions are tough. Okay, let's go. Our choices really boil down to military commander. So let's look at what we have here. Killing an enemy adjacent to an ally. Everybody gets 5% rate of fire. Perception and Medicaid. Okay, let me think about this. Okay, I decided I'm going to go the Psyker route. So that means I'm going to change to an armor bonus based on toughness. And for the origin, I'm going to take the Sanctioned Psyker, which will give me more toughness and willpower. That was a really tough choice, to be quite honest with you. And I think if you went the intelligence path, you could really could create a pretty decent area attack type person. And it's not to say that I can't with this, but this is more about how I'm bringing Abelard back, because Abelard's going to bring Medicaid and strength to the equation. Nobody else has that, and we're going to need to use those healing kits. Now, Argenta also has the ability to use healing kits, but she's already stretched too thin as it is, because she needs to build up other skills. So that's the thing you got to keep in account. Is yeah, you have characters that could do it, but should they? And the answer for her is no. She has to focus. But Abelard has a very specific focus. He's going to be our our healer with the healing kits, and he's gonna also be our strength slash athletics guy. So in order to make room for Abelard, again, I have to be the pyro, so that way we push Adira off the list. So if we get back to this, we're gonna scratch Adira. I'm still gonna do Skill Monkey because I still have the intelligence guy, but I'm going to be pyro, executioner, and so that means so what two skills am I gonna focus on? Well, it's willpower plus intelligence. Those are the only two I have to focus on. With well, in fact, let's delete this for now. I don't know what's going on there. All right, so we got 1, 2, 3, and then focus, right? So the focus for this one is going to be flames, the damage over time, right? First focus is willpower, then intelligence, and then toughness, if I can, right? So that's what that's going to be. So then we got Heinrichs. So he's going to be force and heals, and he also is going to give plus strength. Oops. To everyone. Okay, his focus is willpower, and then weapon, and then strength or toughness. Kasha is also willpower. We got a very willpower heavy party here. And after that, toughness. And so she's going to be officer and damage. Argenta, and we'll have to decide if we're going to do Flamer or Melta. Melta is a little more focused than Flamer. You also have to do a lot of reloading, but I think it would do a lot more damage to individual targets than Flamer, whereas Flamer it's more of a cone. You can do a direct line attack with Flamer, but anyways, we don't have to decide right now. So for her, it's ballistic, and then it's going to be agility, and then toughness. And why agility, you ask? Because the demolition skill. And see, that's the thing too. Like, she's going to be so we need to focus on demolition skill with her because that is how the soldier overcomes the low intelligence. So when you do area attacks, the soldier has the ability to use demolition skill instead of intelligence. So you need to use agility for that. And this is where Cabela and Argenta overlap too much because for her it's agility, and then strength, and then tough. I'm sorry. For her it's weapon, agility, and then strength, toughness. And the problem is she could also be good at demolition. That's what I mean by there's an overlap there. I'm not sure how happy I am with that. Like, that's not a well-balanced party. And then if we put in Abelard, then we're looking at weapon, strength, and toughness. And then, of course, he's going to be worried about athletics. But see, this main character is going to have tech, social skills, logic, everything. The only thing that's so Abelard is probably also going to be carouse as well. So then it becomes, okay, well, what's Cabela doing? That is the next tricky part. Because who am I getting rid of so I can have her? Well, the reason I wanted her was for bleed and poise and toxic. But to be quite honest, Heinrichs does bleed and toxin. So there's an overlap there, because I can make him an executioner just like I did before. And it's pretty good. So that makes her redundant. She's redundant with Heinrichs, and she's redundant with Argenta, because she brings a demolition to the equation. So who's bringing something to the party that I don't already have? Solomorn, very little, although he does add toughness. Adiri is an interesting one because she adds willpower. And you can see how many people need willpower boosts. She'd be boosting everybody else. It's just that, what does she do? What does she focus on? She's got that scream ability. She's not that great. But I can make her a Pyro Executioner. But the whole point of me doing Pyro Execution was to get rid of her. So then what? Pascal, which is another high intelligence person. And then the problem with Pascal is he's also tech and social. I can bring in Jay, who I do very much like. And she can fill in a lot of the blanks, but then she's a skill monkey just like I am. So then, maybe I need to change things. And then who else do we got? Well, then I'm thinking, okay, it'd be nice to have a sniper again. So let's get Earliet. I think I'm missing an L there. If I get Earliet into the equation, then she becomes like a sniper, which has its advantages. I think over the course of the game, the sniper became less and less useful. Because, she only did 100 damage, while everybody else was doing 300 or more. The whole reason for this was really she was replacing Abelard. And her as an executioner, I think, would work very, very well. The problem I'm having is him. He's the reason she doesn't exist. And then if I'm insisting on having her, from a skill perspective, she's adding nothing to the party. She's just a damage dealer. She's not adding anything else to the equation. I mean, she's an agility person, so she'll come in with high demolition, just like Argenta's already high demolition. So I do have to take out Cabela. So then, who do I replace her with? I think, well, first of all, in Act 1, it's going to be Adiri. But then in Act 2, I think we're gonna give Earliet a try. I don't know if she's the best choice. She's very, very squishy. The thing is Jay can be a sniper too. You can make Jay into a sniper. She's quite good at it. And her skills get better because of the, what? The problem is okay, now if I add Jay, do I really need to be a skill monkey myself? See, and then the circle just keeps going. I'm 38 minutes in and I haven't even finished character development yet. But that's my debate. And it's like, okay, I'm adjusting this lever and now I'm adjusting that one. So when you're trying to design a well-balanced party, you want to have these yellow skills covered. That's a must. And I can tell you for sure that if I have Jay, this one is covered golden. And then so is this one. So is that one. Actually, I don't think she covers logic. But the thing is she like nitpicks certain ones, and those are the ones she has all these covered, for sure. See, and then I don't need to be the skill monkey that I currently am. That's the key. That's the key trade-off. So if I make Jay a part of my party again, then I can back off on being a skill monkey myself. So the thing that was beautiful about this type of build is relying on intelligence. I was covering persuasion, coercion. Like, I did not need fellowship at all. That's the thing. But Jay will be the fellowship queen, and those skills will be covered in tenfold. Okay. So if I'm going to make Jay a part of the party, then I don't want a Forge World character. So who do I want? Strength, toughness, agility. Like, this one gives you willpower. So why wouldn't I choose a willpower one? Anytime an ability or a talent uses fellowship, you can use your intelligence instead. I mean, that's pretty good. Then this here, you can reroll any dodge, parry, or skill test with a 20% chance of success. This isn't horrible. That's for an officer. Or I could just straight up do Imperial World and then take willpower. And Fortress World also gives you willpower at +5. What do we got here? This is a shooty one. Yeah, reload, never stop shooting. Like, this one's good for if you're going to be a shooter type character, I guess. I think I'm going to make it an Imperial. I mean, the Voidborn could be good. We don't need strength if you're going to be a Psyker. These two are the best two you could choose. If I do Imperial, I'm going to just take +10 of this. I just won't have +5 intelligence. But, you know, do I really need any of these? No, I don't. I'm going to do Imperial World. And then we're going to take Willpower for +10. I can take anything, really, and this one will at least help Kasha and Heinrichs. It'll give them a +5. And yeah, I'm going to be a Psyker. And we're going to be a Pyromancer. We're going to do Apex of Brilliance. Just checking real quick. Yep. And then we can choose Logic, Awareness, or Warp Lore. I'm going to choose the Awareness penalty, which is a bad one, by the way. That -5 is going to definitely go to -10 with us. So then, what do I want to be when I grow up? Now this is a more interesting one. We for sure want to go Executioner later. So you got the Blade Dancer Executioner. That would be an interesting combo. So if I'm not taking kibbles and bits, I can become a Blade Dancer myself. That's a weird combo, though. I can do Soldier. Nope. Operative. Officer doesn't work. That's the reason why I can't do Officer or Warrior. So Warrior, Operative, or Blade Dancer. To be quite honest, I'm going to be taking Psyker abilities so much, I'm not going to take a lot of whatever I choose, whether it's Warrior or Blade Dancer. So I'm trying to choose something that... I mean, I know Adiri does this. And this could help you, because you can put, you know, stacks of operative stuff on people. So I'm just looking real quick. So they have a lot of melee attack, you know, things like that that we're probably not going to want. So then I'm going to probably spend a lot of that time going after improving skills. I don't even have stuff down here I necessarily need. If I do Blade Dancer, it's just as bad. Where the heck is the skills? There we go. This relies on agility and a bunch of stuff that we don't have. Okay, I thought about it some. We'll go the Adira route, because that's basically what we're doing. We're replacing Idira. So we'll be an operative. And for sure we want another 10 to willpower. So we got the 10 because we put in 10. We got 10 because we chose Imperial. And we got 5 more because we chose Sanctioned Psyker. So that puts us at 55 to start. Then we got to put points somewhere else. So we're going to do Toughness for hit points. And then we're going to do Intelligence for skill monkey purposes. Because we don't need anything else when you're a Psyker. And mind you, I'm not trying to be a skill monkey, but I don't get J until Act 2. So it's going to be a while, and I need to get by on some skills. In the meantime, I'm not doing any melee damage, so no point in that. Dodge is always helpful, so you could argue maybe I shouldn't do Intelligence. Let's at least make your dodge go up, because, you know, you always need dodge when people are attacking you. This is only going to help my awareness. I'm not shooting. There are, by the way, you get staffs. Like, I'm going to have a Pyro Staff. So technically, the Pyro Staff uses strength if I use it for melee, or weapon skill for melee. It also has a range attack that it does, which would, I think, use ballistic or perception. So I don't want to say it's 0, but at some point in the game, I'm using solely Psyker skills, and I'm not using my staff at all. So, not a, you know... The one thing you could debate is, did I really need to boost these skills? In fact, I'm talking myself out of it. Let's get agility up, because we want our dodge to be as high as possible. Alright, this one I'm under the complete impression that it does not matter which one, but I always think this one looks cooler, so that's why I keep choosing that one. So that's what I'm gonna do. And then what's the name of it gonna be? The USS Pyro. Alright, let's do it. So this is what I made. Am I proud of it? I think so. Ignatius. Yeah, that's actually a good name for, I'll go with it. Okay, so the battles are going to be harder and all that jazz, but I don't... It was 150 hours of recordings last time. I don't want to bore you with it if you sat through the last playthrough. I don't know if you necessarily want to watch 150 hours of playthrough again, but here's my warning for you. Because I already did a playthrough, scenes like this, I'm skipping. And if that bothers you, go watch the other playthrough I have
An excellent
uploaded.
place for contemplation.
One has
It's
the
not my
best view of the
intention to
cathedral
cut
from
you out of
here.
material. It's just
Mesmerizing, wouldn't you say?
I'm trying to speed
An
up the game.
impeccable manifestation.
So
My regards, Master. Or should I say, such are the traditions, so that you may fulfill Your former position may have been different from... To put it plainly, I
But
am
none
the
of this is
head
new.
of the network of spies
That's why I'm going
and
through quick.
informers who serve
But
the
I do.
interests of House
I have
von
so much
Valencia.
curiosity because now that I've beaten the game
I uncover
and I know who he
weaklings
is
both
and what
among
his
Lady
story
Theodora's
was,
retinue and
it
in the
makes
ranks
this
of
interesting
arrivals.
again.
I eliminate
It's like
our vulnerabilities
it's like you watched a movie
and
and now you're
exploit
watching it
those
again. Now that
of
you know how
others.
the movie ends, you're picking up all the little things that they were saying that you missed the first time around. That's what this feels like.
There is. And I would rather. But of course, the Lord.
So we're
Marching ahead.
just making sure we plow through. I don't think there's anything here that I click on that's going to matter. So I'm just going to move through. Game's already auto-saving.
Another battle demands our attention.
Alright, so we got our first battle on this difficulty level. That, by the way, was normal difficulty. And he also did that in normal difficulty.
Let's set this in motion.
So, I don't know if you noticed what he's doing. He's putting exploits on. See, I have 5 exploits on him. He also put exploits on, and then he used what's called the joint analysis, which basically means that if I damage him, I get to use his exploits. But since we're not in the same party, I don't get to see. I don't get to use them. It's like sort of weird. Like it's normally this guy would be in my party, but not in this situation. So I'm gonna put 5 more on him, or looks like only 2 more. I don't know. All right, so yeah, this only puts 2 on, and now I'm gonna attack him again, and it should use up those exploits and do extra damage. So there we go. He got 11 more. And then I'm gonna back up 2 spaces so they can attack him instead of me. So normally what happens
I know what to do.
is he gets attacked and then dodges everything. And I don't get to do this because I used my action to put the ignite on him. So I can't shoot and ignite at the same time. That 3 damage is because he's burning. So yeah, he goes up and he misses. Then he just keeps doing that. And then he finishes him off. And that's it. That's no different than the normal. So again, just fast forwarding it through.
I'm afraid.
Okay, so most of this is just color, which I fully confess when I didn't know the
Venture
lore
forth.
or anything about this game, this was all overwhelming and didn't mean anything. Now it's funny because some of it does mean something. It's funny how quick you pick up on things. But after 150 hours of play, or what are we at now? We are... I'm at 243 hours in this game. That's a healthy number. And then,
Onward to victory.
come across, and then we should run into here.
That is simply
Then suggest an alternative that... Consider this hypothetical situation. Ion 6. A new world on the fringes of the Coronus Expanse. High seismic activity, regular magma eruptions, metamorphic rock... reasonable.
Apart from Xenos, an untrodden planet might be teeming with myriad horrors that are far... insolent.
Edelthrad.
Uh.
So, why are you here? You are direct. I approve. My name is Theodora von Valance. It is my decision alone to determine the fate of whatever I find past the bound. Oh, yes. You would be, wouldn't you? Bloodright alone is not enough to earn the high honor of becoming the bearer. Naturally. Some have yet to... Impatience. I am rather fond of impatient people. They are not as quick to resign themselves to circumstance and more eager to show initiative. Even if I do choose... It says in your profile that you bear the brand of sorcery. Albeit sanctioned sorcery that is permitted in the service of the Imperium. I am accustomed to the presence. Moreover, your remarkable mental abilities.
So
were
this is
noted
because
in
we
your
chose
profile. If
the,
you can find a way to exhibit them in the service of the Von
there was a
Valancius
boon
dynasty,
you get to choose. There was one of 3 to
well,
choose from.
so
You get this a
much the
lot.
better. His kinship to me is most... The Reich. I set the course for... Vessels such as this one are capable of... Observe. Learn. Is that...
Lady Theodora.
Enough, Abelard. Such hearsay amuses me. Idira eagerly retells... In that case...
Alright, so yeah, we just...
Your
It really does
execution
save some
is
time
assured.
skipping some of these things.
The Masters demand your death! Don't touch me!
So again, they're not in my
I've
party.
seen worse battles than this in my time.
My
But-
faith strengthens me. For the glory of the Imperium.
The higher difficulty.
Just a
Oh,
minor
by the way,
setback.
there is a way to... There's a way to speed some of this up.
Easy. I know what to do.
I serve the righteous powers!
Death to the weak. Ah! Death to non-believers.
I don't know if you can see that some of the combat animations are sped up a bit.
Follow my lead.
That was a melt attack, by the way. And that's Abelard doing Abelard things.
Die.
Pain and duty
I think I have to
hand
hit
in hand.
the T button.
One fewer target.
Makes everything go by a little quicker.
They won't expect this. A costly mistake.
Your end is near.
Reduced to dust.
Weapon at the ready.
My ears are ringing.
As said, so done. Let's set this in motion and done.
The operative was the right choice. Way better than Blade Dancer or Warrior. Being able to put those little
Take a team with you.
analysis
Didn't
points
bat
on
an eye
people.
when that scum burst onto the deck. Mortar's gone off.
Alright. So, I got an injury. I don't think I can do anything about that.
Forge ahead. Never linger.
I do like the new voice. It's a nice change of pace. I like the old voice too, from the previous playthrough, but a nice, different enough voice. So, like, one of the things, like, the Master at Arms is actually down, and Jocasta, which is your Master of Arms, when you take over the ship, you can see her sitting here kneeling over him. Then we get up to here. And I'm just skipping through.
Thank all.
And yeah, it goes a lot quicker.
Master of lunatics. Fool first.
I.
Then it's settled. Find Edelthrad. Get off, Master of. Then move out.
And this is where he knocks you over the head. And no matter what I try to do, you're gonna
It
say,
is a long walk, and you do not even have proper gear.
so I tell him, like, to lead the way, and then I turn around.
Course you will. Lady,
Then bam. So I'm gonna go ahead and skip. And now we're down in the warrant trade area. This is the prologue. You sort of want to get through this quicker. The real game doesn't start until Act 2, if you ask me, but
be gentle with our. We are in the anteroom of the war.
see, that's a lot lower. The ability to pass.
High levels of caustic humus. The subject is in a state of heightened stress. Do you require assistance?
The entity does not like...
Request accepted.
I'm gonna play this because this is my favorite scene in the whole game.
There is still another way.
Awesome scene. Okay. Now I got multiple injuries on me.
Escort the child of the house to safety. Temporary obnubilation following acute stress. Mobile unit of the Warren Sentinel, designed as a personal escort of the child of the... Communicate distance from middle...
Alright. So we did our thing.
Let's see this through.
We come through. We have to seal the warrant chamber. Then Abelard's gonna come in.
Master. What? What? Oh, holy God, Emperor. Sakes. You're in a bad way.
Right, I got 3
I
items.
can treat your wounds.
Wow, they gave me
I
a
have a
sniper
medication.
rifle? That's pretty wild. I guess they looked at my skills and thought that was the best thing. Alright, and then the medical kit we give to him. And then let's have
Your seneschal is always there
Abelard
for you.
use that medical kit on me.
That is a noticeable improvement. The lower, but that is not the worst of it. Aye, if we get through. What? The Warren Chamber is an ancient and rather during warp transit. The sanctum is closed.
So you gotta be
to
careful,
all
'cause some
who
of these
not
are
involved in traversing the
bad
Empyrean.
things you
And
don't
for
want to
good
say.
reason.
Like,
For the
this is
navigator
you
to
being
open their
wimpy.
third eye and perceive Lady Theodorus. Absolute. The Lord.
Alright, so we got a big battle coming up here.
You'll regret standing against me.
Alright. We have 2 old injuries, so he didn't technically heal me before all this happened, but that's alright. Just get Abelard up there. I'll stay back. They're ganging up on Abelard.
I serve the ruinous powers!
Looks like they all have 10 hit points.
I know what to do.
I can only take out one at a time.
Out of my way! Chaos guides me!
See, look, he already has an injury. Yeah, that's pretty wild.
I took care of this one.
Right, one's down.
It will be done. Field medicine at its finest.
He hit his own guy, which is good. So,
Easy.
people like that are who I need to target first.
They won't expect this.
Got him going down.
Chaos guides me! Ah!
Indeed. One fewer target.
2 more down.
Such is the will of chaos.
Just a minor setback.
Let's set this in motion.
Down you go.
A costly mistake.
Okay, so these medical kits, if you watched my last playthrough, you know I ignored them for the most part. See, it does remove old injuries. So,
Look no further. This wound will make a fine scar.
I am beholden to you.
there you go. It removed the 2 old injuries. That was good. Okay, so we leveled up already.
They say I have a magnetic personality. That certainly explains why I keep attracting trouble.
I guess so. Alright, so what do we want to be when we grow up here? This is a good question. I think Heinrichs has this covered. Jay has this covered. I think actually the logic might be the one I need to cover. This is a tough one, but there's the good news is none of these are must-haves for me for this particular character. But I think I'm gonna go with logic, because that's probably the one thing I think Jay doesn't cover, and we're not bringing Pascal with us, who's an awesome logic person. So I'll go ahead and take logic. Awareness is another good one, but we'll give that to somebody else. Then Abelard is athletics for sure. Alright, that was an easy level up.
Marching ahead.
Oh, let's pick up some items. We don't need any of this. This is all junk. And off we go.
Idira! Would it...
The voice and you.
Blast!
What? Set on.
Again, sorry. I know I have like this self-consciousness because I'm flying through it, but... Alright, so Navigator's under attack. In we go.
across us.
Your Emperor won't
Alright, I'm gonna
save
put
you.
my guy here. We're gonna put Abelard over on the right side. And we'll put her over on the left side. We'll use some cover for everybody but Abelard. Let's go.
Hold on.
Pain and duty go hand in
We're
hand.
definitely going after Abelard.
Death to non-believers.
Stop it!
Yeah, that's not good.
Oh, my ears are ringing.
We got 2 injuries already.
As said, so done. I know what to do. That is how it's done.
Now, you could argue that that was a bad choice, because these 2 haven't gone yet, but she needs to not have somebody next to her in order for her to do that.
Anything else? Be gone!
Victory is imminent. Reduced to dust. At your beck and call.
Alright, 2 are down.
It will be done.
Here we go.
As said, so done. Easy.
See, he has high willpower, so he was a lot more resistant to my attack.
I'm not so sure.
Gonna get closer.
Was that you? Or
Tried and tested tactics are the best ones. At your beck and
And down he goes. Alright, so
I believe Master Vespider still.
Your time is short. Fall to your... Run. Flee the edge.
All right. A sacrifice offered.
so
Oh.
basically
My heart
Chaos,
tells
of
me
course,
that
is trying to
Kurat
take
was
him
not
over.
deterred by his defeat in the.
What?
Run. The sanctum will be sealed.
The ship can.
So we gotta get out of here so we can help the navigator to get out of the warp. And then we have... That's a duplicate. Maybe the axe is better than what we already have. I don't know. He's using a chain sword, which I always do like. This adds bleeding, which is okay. Has higher penetration. We'll give it as a second armor set, or weapon set. And as you can see, with the harder difficulty levels, we're getting injuries way more frequently. And there's nothing I can do about them.
Let's seize the moment.
I only have 1 med kit left. Right, so now we got
Your
Argenta
face.
with us.
It is unfamiliar.
Sister, I beg of you.
Very well. I cannot wait to reign right.
Sister Od.
Enough idle chatter.
Overseer of Middle Deck AL-84, my lord. Massacre my...
Through the...
Good.
Ready.
Alright, so we plowed through that real quick. We got her added to the party. Found our first set of goods. We have, of course, a door,
Venture forth.
which we need to go through, but grab the goods first. And then those injuries, what they do... They eventually lead to traumas. I guess we're okay now. But they will get worse.
Violence it is then.
Come to chaos!
And of course they auto-heal when you go back to your ship. We don't have a ship yet. We will soon. Him there. Who has a gun?
They won't expect this. I know what to do. A costly mistake.
I serve the ruinous powers!
I bring ruin.
Rejoice in battle! Doubt is for the weak. Faith without deeds is worthless.
Out of my way!
I've suffered worse.
Will do.
Victory is imminent. Indeed.
Let's set this in motion.
Yeah, we got more coming.
Just a minor setback.
I'll do it.
Crush the feeble.
Chaos guides me!
On it. Farewell. Anything else?
It will be done. I took care of this one.
I am your doom.
None can escape the Emperor's judgment. As the Emperor commands, I act. Doubt is for the weak.
That's how it's done.
You're even
Why
further
is the
away.
ringing?
There is movement in the Empyrean. Will do. What an unfortunate turn of fate.
At your beck and call.
Reduced to
The-
dust.
His wound now became a crippled arm. That's the harder difficulties. Definitely piling on there.
No foe too great.
If you hold down the T key, that's what rushes
As said, so done.
the animations forward. Ooh. Can't quite reach them.
Done and done.
Oh my gosh. I actually hit with it. I can't believe that.
Stay sharp.
Nothing escapes my sight.
Now that was easy.
Get some nice goods. A lot of these goods you don't get to trade them or anything until you get your own ship, but always grab them early. Game does a great job of holding on to them for you.
Always striving for greatness. Perfect. Onward to victory. Now that was easy.
I think we missed this in our last playthrough.
Always striving for greatness.
So his broken arm, I don't think there's anything we can do about that. But
What advice do you seek?
he can get rid of her injury. But you know what? We're gonna let it go. Let's save up. Let's save him for when we really, really need him. I think we're okay. This is early prologue. Just grab as much stuff as we can.
Marching ahead.
Yes?
I better myself through myself.
There we go. Got ourselves another level up. Level 3 is just getting your advanced superpower. What did she take? She took awareness. And she took demolition. All of that makes sense.
Attention to detail is the key to success.
This is really interesting. I took my second playthrough, I went dogmatic. And I ran through the fire and I took no damage.
An apparition.
Sister, you will lower your weapon. Threatening the Lord Captain is out.
I doubt I can lead you out.
Do not listen to this abomination. If you...
To the void with you.
The people. There's a...
Then we'll miss our chance to meet up with Edel. What are we waiting for?
Alright, let's do Iconoclast again. I like Dogmatic, but not that much. Alright, so we get
Where
the
did
people
it go?
the help that they need.
The thing that was standing in front of us in the fire? Today.
This is only 68%.
My actions speak louder than words.
I could definitely sense the it's definitely making things harder. The skill checks. And like I said, when I did Dogmatic, I walked right through the fire. I was already on the other side. It was actually pretty cool.
Too late. We're...
Or they could...
My lord, to the brig.
Let's see this through.
So yeah, when you come across the bridge, this blocks the way. Because I used to always think that I was missing out on stuff down there, but you're really not. This is the only place to go.
Over there.
And of course, that is where you need to go.
Keep
but
your guard up.
Make sure you clean out everything. Just spinning around the camera here.
Forge ahead, never linger.
Okay, so in the first playthrough, we never figured out who killed Theodora, and the person who killed her is actually Argenta herself. And the way you get that uncovered is she has to be with you in Act 3. And in Act 3, we didn't bring her with us because I just took my regular party. But this time around, we will have her. And this helmet requires Dogmatic. Oh, hold on. Oh, that's right. We gave her the 5% armor.
Let's seize the moment.
Lord Captain. It could have happened. How could Mort...
Tainted witchcraft. Yes, the Crucible.
No, wait!
Idira.
You...
Right. This one was a tough battle, even on daring. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out, especially since I have a broken arm with Abelard. I'm gonna back him up though. And I'll put myself back even further. Oh wow, he's first.
My place is at the fore.
One fewer target.
One down.
It will be done.
Can't hit anybody else, so... I go after the boss. Remember, they get 80% extra health now. So these guys have 25, 10. That one has 68. Let's get him burning. I only did 2 damage to him. But he does have some warp burn. 1 level. We could do this, which will lower his armor, dodge and parry, but I'm gonna wait. And then let's go ahead and open fire.
I'll do it.
Then do run and gun. Shoot again.
Faith
Go after
without
these 2.
strength is a prayer.
1 killed.
As
We'll
the
do
Emperor
this.
commands, I act.
Gives us some... Remember, this grows 25% slower now. So it's a lot harder to get your superpowers unlocked. And I'm gonna just go up a little bit.
Be gone.
There we go. 3 of them are down. Put some more on him. And yeah, we'll reduce his armor.
Do. Mocking me.
I've seen worse battles than this in my time. At your beck and call. Victory is imminent.
He's doing a lot less damage because of the broken arm.
Easy.
Just keep burning him.
Doubt is for the weak.
Complete miss.
But of course. On it.
I've suffered worse. I will do my duty. It will be done. Indeed.
one step ahead.
Let's finish him off.
I'll do it.
Just one hit.
As the Emperor commands, I act. I'll do it.
Anything else?
Oh, it's because I didn't do this first.
Will do. Anything else?
As soon as it's his turn, he's gonna die.
Now it's done.
Because he was burning. Alright, we level up again. That is definitely an Abelard item. And there we go. So we level up again. Alright. This is also an automatic. Then we gain a skill. And I'm going to pause real quick. Okay, so I was going to spare you going through this, because we sort of did this before. But we really should go through this together. If you're playing in hard mode, the way I like to do this is I like to star the items that I may want. And it doesn't mean that I'm going to take them, but they're at least, you know, I should consider taking them. And then it at least lets me ignore the items that I don't need or want. Because this is a very large list, and if it's your very first game, this is so overwhelming. But I've come to really love it, because I went and played Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous from the same developer. And in that one, all the level up stuff is like hidden behind a wall. You have to get to level 10, and then all of a sudden you get to have a mount or whatever. Whereas with this, all your skills are given to you right now. We can choose any of them. You just have to pick which one you want. And that's the challenge, right? So the goal of this character is we're going to be a psyker. Pyromancy, number one, first and foremost. The abilities here are for our archetype, which is an operative. We may or may not want operative abilities, but sometimes we do want to take some. It just depends. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll down first to, and you can always sort them here. Like, these are universal features. These are specific for the archetype, and then this is for our origin. And then this is our warp features, which is the same stuff as our psyker. So you could, like, you know, let's start with the psyker stuff, right? We want Minoris, Majoris, Terminus, and Extremis. Each of these amp up our power. So right now, we're psyker level 1, I think. I don't know. I'm sure it's written somewhere. We'll have to go check. But see, this will, each level of psi rating, it strengthens the psi rating. So by going up the psyker Minoris, it'll strengthen how much damage we do. So I can already tell you that's the one I want for right now. But, you know, how many of these other ones do we want, though? That's where it gets a little more interesting. Blade of Light is if you're using a force weapon. We're not going to use a force weapon, so this is not important. Each use of Heroic Act by the Psyker reduces it by 3. This is an extremely minor. I probably won't take it, but I'm going to star it, because it does help us, just not very much. If I'm not in the target's line of sight, or if I'm in cover, all resistance tests of the target suffers a -4 penalty. Not... it's okay. This one causes an extra +3 damage. Now, when the number is in blue, just remember it's based off of a skill, and the skill is the ballistic skill. So if I ever am like, I don't know what skill I should improve, if I take this particular one, the ballistic skill will make make the psychic barrage more powerful. This one increases our range by 3. This one, the first time we do each turn, The Veil Degradation costs 2 points less. So the Veil Degradation won't move up so quickly. That's an important one. We definitely want that one. You can use your psychic powers even if someone's next to you in melee range. Otherwise, they get an attack of opportunity. We definitely want that. Backdraft. When you do damage to a random enemy within... Oh, when you do damage, a random enemy within 2 cells of the initial target also suffers half the damage. That's actually a really good one. Critical hit is increased by 1% every time you deal damage by any means. Some of these are great. 8% extra armor, but only against fire damage. It's okay. All enemies adjacent to the Psyker suffer direct damage. See that number? That's your psi rating. 4 times the psi rating. Currently that's 0. But see, this only hurts them if they're next to you. It's not that good. Each time you kill or score a critical hit against 8 creatures, the next attack will cost 0 AP. And will not count towards the attack limit this turn. Maybe. Their armor is reduced if you do damage to them. That can be really good against bosses. If you yourself are burning, your psi rating is increased by +1. And your resolve by +2. That's a weird one, but you can make it work. All damage over time gets a 5% critical hit chance. That's a really, really nice one. Okay, so you can see I almost starred everything on here. Some of these are really low, not that important. But then, you know, okay, when you're talking about Emperor stuff, Stronger Together, for sure, we want that. This one, if you're affected by an ally's non-damaging ability, your resolve is increased by 1, but it's just for 1 round. Like, I don't think it's that great. This is 10% critical hit against Xenos and demonic creatures, but then your lore goes to 0. So I don't want that one. If no other party has the same archetype as you, which is not going to be the case, we're going to have multiple executioners. And then this one, if you're ever dropped to below a certain percentage of wounds, you get a 10 bonus to all characters. That one's pretty good. And then, of course, this is our archetype. Then we have Universal, which is the same as archetype. So you can see, like, instant exposure. But the fresh target is an archetype one. It's really weird how they overlap a little bit. And then there's also, let's see, that was the origin. So anyways, let's start with this one. If you attack an enemy that's at full wounds, that attack does 13% more damage. That's actually a really good one. Because it doesn't have to be an operative attack. I could use my fire attack and do 13% more damage. So this is a case where this skill actually helps my situation. This one is decent. If you trigger an exploit, you get +1 damage and 2% armor penetration until the end of combat. Only applies to the first strike or a projectile, and it stacks. It's okay. I'll tag it, but that one's also decent. If you target somebody 12 cells or further, it deals an extra 15% of damage. It's 15 minus your perception bonus, which right now is poor. So if you were a shooter, this would actually be pretty decent. It's not going to be good for her, so we're going to skip that one. If your perception bonus is 10 or higher, Nope. If there's 2 or more exploits, they suffer another one. Yeah, we'll tag it. At the start of the turn, the enemy with the largest number of exploits gets more. Sure. If you're in some cover, the efficiency is improved. Maybe. This one can be good, because technical knowledge is probably something we're going to end up taking. One second. Okay. I mean, this is okay. I don't know if I'm going to ever take it, but... So this requires you to take precise attack. I don't know where those are listed. Give me a second. Here? Yeah, it's like really hard to find where those are even located. They would be... this one. See, precise attack. So when you do this level up, you get to choose one of these items. This is what I mean. You're not going to necessarily, I'm going to either take tactical knowledge or, like in this case, precise attack, or perfect spot is really good if you're a shooter, but it doesn't really help much if you're a psyker. So that's the thing. Like the joint analysis is one that I probably end up taking. So anyways, to get back to this. This requires precise attack. That one does as well. Maybe. And so here's my recommendation. If you're on like a maybe, where you're not sure, put a star on it anyways, because there's enough level ups in this game that even if you don't need it initially, like later on, you do, and you're going to be in a habit of only looking at your starred items, and you're going to be ignoring some of those maybes that later on might be worth taking. That's a maybe. That's a really high one. This one, when you're doing, if you're a shooter, this is really good, but see, we're not. This one helps with perfect spot. None of those matter. That one puts exploits on everybody. This one requires you to have a shield. And then we get to this one, which is universal features, and you can see some of these are repeats. I see. Universal is, these are archetype talents, plus some origin talents, plus, yeah. Okay, so when we get to this type of stuff, let's go to all features. This is probably the better way to go. So we went through and did, you see all those stars. Now we're getting into some of these things. So what is our character going to specialize in? Sometimes you have to take stuff that's down here. So what do we want to take if we were to take something? Well, we were thinking logic, just because I don't think anybody else is going to specialize in that. And so then if I go down far enough, we're looking at ballistic skill. We said that that would help us. Intelligence would help us. Perception doesn't hurt, but let's focus on the big help us stuff first. Then, of course, willpower is the big one. And then if you keep going, most of these will not help us. Combat Master just basically so melee superiority bonus. If there's multiple enemies around you, they get a bonus to hit you. So this basically negates that. So you could theoretically take it. I just think there's 100 other ones that are better. You know, do you want to throw grenades? You know, blah, blah, blah. This flame weapon mastery is, remember, we were thinking about going that path. It will not die is bonus health points, which you definitely want that. Instant retribution requires shields. And technically, I guess with the staff, I don't think we can have shields. But that would be an interesting idea if you could. This gives extra movement points, which, you know, I don't think we need. And bonus to dodge is actually helpful, because we're not going to be wearing any armor. And I think that's it. We covered it all. So now I could just hit the star, and you can see we got everything that we hope to take someday, with a lot of maybes. But I'm going to jump straight down to here, and this is the one I went first. So I'm going to go ahead and complete that. And then our Psyker rating is a 1. So you did start the game with a 0. So now we're a 1. Because you can see she's a 1. She's an unsanctioned Psyker. So she gets a +1 because she's unsanctioned. And then, you know, same deal with her. We got to go through and select all of her stuff. And she and I actually have the exact same skill sets right now. The big thing with her is we're not planning on having her be a regular member of our party. So there's a couple of things to bear in mind. When we're steering our ship, she could still help with that. And we do need somebody that has really high awareness, for example. So we could just crank on her perception and make her our awareness person. Even if I got other people in the party that needs awareness as well. There's things like that that you can do to make it so she can help, even if she's not a regular member on your away missions. But with that said, yeah, all the stuff that we just took with our character, I mean, we're almost identical. So I'm going to skip for now, because we're not, you know, she's not our long-term plan. But we do need Minoris, and now you might be wondering, well, holy crap, how come you can't take that? It is because she is not a sanctioned Psyker, so she has to wait until level 9 until she gets it. Now, the thing is she's still powerful, because since she's unsanctioned, she gets a +1 to her Psi rating. So she's actually, at the end of the game, more powerful than other psychic or Psykers. But she has a 5% chance throughout the entire game, and there's nothing you can do to mitigate it, to just die. Like, she backfires. So, anyways, we're avoiding that because we are leaving her out of our party. But one of the best ones to get for her is this one. Her psychic powers will increase veil degradation by 2 less. So we're going to go ahead and do that one for her. And she's done. Now, these two, we are focusing on. So we gotta dig in and do the same activity. And so, how do we want this warrior to develop himself? We're going to be pure melee. We're going to try the assassination path, which I've never really done in earnest before. I've always made him a very defensive character. But let's not do that. Let's make him more damaging. But he's going to need to be able to survive. So let's see what we can do. These ones, of course, are the ones that they recommend. So let's start with those. When an enemy attacks the warrior's next melee attack against that enemy gets +5 damage. Sure. They deal an additional 3 damage, and it's using the agility skill. That's not one I thought of. So, I like it, but agility was not the thing we were thinking of improving much with him. Critical damage is increased by 8%, and that's strength bonus, so that's a big one. That synchronizes with strength. 13% crit, that's toughness plus agility. So all these are good. This one is also good, I remember that one. This one you just straight up get 1 damage deflection, so you're getting 1 less damage for the rest of the game. And the parry chance is increased by 25% of the armor. So this is a super high one. I wish there was a way you could say double star on that one. This one, each use of slash, which is the attack that hits more than 1, increases the damage dealt by slash +1 until the end of the combat. It requires breakthrough. So again, this is these items. Breakthrough being you gain the slash ability with 1 charge for this round. When you use that ability, it costs 2 action points, and you dash through the enemy to the cell on the enemy's opposite side. Actually, we are going to be doing that. We're going to be doing breakthrough because that's part of the assassin thing. Is the assassin skill, you get bonuses if you can get to the other side of the enemy and attack them from there. So we're going to go ahead and start that one. Attacks of opportunity do less damage. Movement within range of attacks of opportunity is 1 less. This is a maybe. So far I'm starring everything because he really needs all of this stuff. Area attacks deal extra damage. Remember, that uses intelligence, but in this case it's strength. So that could be good. When they take damage, he gets extra dodge. Dodge gets reduced by heavy armor, so not as good. Maybe. Maybe. He already has this one. When he parries, his next ability costs 1 less. Always good. I know I went through this real quick, but this makes his charge do extra damage. We always like charge. It has to be 5 or more cells, though. If you end your turn near a sworn enemy, you gain 7 wounds. That could be good. That is good. We're not planning to have 2 melee weapons equipped. This one is good. Very good. This one is very good because who cares if his lore is 0? He doesn't need to have lore like the other ones do. In fact, the whole origin is really good for him. These I'm not a big fan of. Brace for Impact is the thing that it's used once per combat, and himself and anybody around him within 3 squares get a bonus to deflection, which is good. It's just I don't know if any of these are any good. So remember, they have to be within 3 spaces of him to be impacted. They don't suffer negative effects. It is for the entire combat. So that is interesting. Anybody is gain an extra turn with 0 AP and 3 movement points. So basically you're helping everybody to move and get into cover. I guess that can be helpful. You could use ranged weapons, no good. All allies get 30% cover penetration. Suffer only half damage. I'm not a fan because usually he's not within 3 spaces of anybody anyways because he's charging into battle. So anyways, let's keep going. Athletics for sure. It's his primary skill. And then carouse. And if you watch my last playthrough, I did make a mistake. I used to say, why would you take athletics, which gives you +7, if you can take strength, which gives you +5, and then also improves your damage? There's nothing wrong with what I said. All that's 100% true. However, when you take base skill athletics, it unlocks a hidden skill that you don't see here, which is advanced skill athletics. So you get another big boost. So if you really want to be good at athletics, there's actually multiple level ups here, and you have to get this one first to get to the next one. So it could be really well worth it, but it does require several points of investment. We definitely need weapon skill for him and toughness, so those are the big three. And there was a weird one that used ballistic skill, which we may not want to do, but that was there. And a few of his use agility, so I'll select it, but again, not a huge one. So I've been using chain weapons a lot with him. They are one-handed weapons. So we could do that and give him a shield, which would give him a little more longevity, but he could still do some decent damage. Or we could just make him grab some big two-handed weapons. The two-handed weapons, I don't think there is a two-handed chain weapon. That's my issue. So we can, if he has a shield, there's extra things he can take. But we do want him to have Combat Master and Dueling Mastery. And if we keep going, you can see he has heavy armor. We definitely want him to have this. This one is misleading. It's only for hammers or mace, and it's the shove ability. On axe. It's only the shove ability. It's the sweep or the shove. It's not that great. Nimble. So we don't need to worry about his dodge that much. Power weapons could be like power hammers. We never really use those that much, but that could be a two-handed type of weapon. A two-hander will do more damage than a one. But we do want him to eventually have power armor. I don't know how much power armor you find in the game, but it is something I think we want him to have. And then, of course, most of these are shooty weapons, right? So, like this one requires you to have heavy weapons in the first place. This gives him extra movement points. That's always good for him. So let's assume he's going to do chain weapons for now. Power weapon I'm considering. But we can give him Shield Mastery. And then we can give him Instant Retribution. Because the shield he can use his shield as an attack. So it's not a horrible idea. Defensive Maneuver. And then, if we go scroll up enough, if we do Chain Weapon Expert, he can do an extra +4 damage. And there you go. This also is for heavy weapons, so there's a lot of heavy weapon stuff he could do. But those aren't melee. So, so there you have it. I think these are plenty of skills for him to choose from. So which one do we go for first? I actually like this one, because this is immediately going to reduce the amount of damage he's taking. Right now, we want him to stay alive more than we want him to do damage. But the other one that's really good, and we're getting into here, is the Stronger Together. This is going to give everybody in the party +5 toughness. So we're going to do that one first. And last but not least, we have Argenta. So we're going to do similar stuff, but remember, this time around we're going to either do Melt-A-Gun or Flamethrower. That's our thing that I have to decide, and I haven't made a decision yet. But we're basically going to shoot with her. Now, the way I did play her in my second playthrough is I used heavy bolt guns, and they were fantastic. There's nothing wrong with the heavy bolt strategy, except she did do a lot of friendly fire, because I had, melee people running in trying to do melee stuff, and then you're constantly having to aim her shot and avoid hitting friendlies. It's really hard to do. So let's go ahead and go in here. And so this one, Again, always look at the blue, and this is ballistic skill, so this is going to get better and better and better for each adjacent ally. That is a really weird one, but I'm going to go ahead and choose it. Cover efficiency is up. I do actually put her in cover. We'll go ahead and take that one. Sure. Rapid reload is an important one. Yeah, being behind cover is important for a lot of these. Each shot fired by the soldier grants them 1 agility. That's an interesting one. It's a weak one, but... using medkits costs 1 less. Yeah, we're not going to do that. This one we do want to do. Her demolition skill is actually really decent. Her intelligence is not. So, second attack does 15% more. Alright, so this is another one of those ones. So, controlled shot means you're not going to hit your allies, which is important, right, for the thing I was talking about before. Dash is the one we for sure want, more than anything. See, the next ranged area attack does plus 90% damage. That one is probably what we want. Concentrated fire, dash, maybe entrench. So this one is controlled shot. Not a fan. It's a very low. This one's pretty decent. So this one does additional damage equal to the rate of fire. So I was having her shoot guns that had like there was bolt weapons that had an 8, meaning it shot 8 times. Or if you had like a really heavy weapon, it was doing 10 or 12 times. Well, that's a lot of extra damage, but a Melta gun shoots once. It's almost like a sniper gun. And then the flamethrower, same deal. So this is where you have to really know what you want to do with your character. And in this case, we're not going to be doing the bing, 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 you know, light machine gun type thing. So we're going to skip that one. This one requires entrench. This is an area attack one, which is important. This one you'd think would be good, but she's not going to wear medium armor the whole game. That one is actually a decent one. Oh, that's actually an interesting one. Another ballistic skill one, so this one's going to get better and better. That's a really good one. That actually can be decent. She will have unique archetypes. I mean, she is your no heresy type of gal, and her lore knowledge is never that good. So, yeah, of course she's going to take that. Yep, let's flag them all. Okay, so this is where it gets interesting. Melee, flame, and Melta. So it doesn't matter, flame or Melta. Does an additional 6 damage, which is your willpower. And 18%, which which again is willpower. It's Daemons and Psychers. Such attacks against Xenos deal an additional 3 damage, willpower, and 9%, which is also willpower. So, it's very specific, but it could be decent. So, War Hymn is something that she does. It's okay. It's not the best. She's usually not next to people when she does these. This one could be good. If anything, the resolve permanently increased by 1 is good. This one is very low percentage, which is improved by willpower again. So it's hard because she doesn't, necessarily focus on the willpower stuff. But now we get to, like, she for sure wants to improve demolition, because she doesn't need intelligence. And skipping over everything else, she also wants ballistic skill, and then agility, which initiative and dodge, and demolition. Yeah, that's it. So she needs demolition improvement. Perception reduces the enemy's ability to dodge your shots. That's also important. Willpower, we just learned. And then toughness is always for everybody. And again, not all of them are equal priority, but you just tag them if you're going to eventually want them. So then if you get down a little further here, this is where she already has flame weapon proficiency. So we're going to tag expert because I'm still not sure. And what I think I'm going to do is I'm probably going to have her carry both a flame weapon and a multi-weapon and use whichever one makes sense at the time. So we're going to maybe flip-flop between these. Having her be our grenadier is an interesting one. I'll tag it, but I don't know if I'm going to do it. And it will not die is always a good one for her. And then if you go down in here, multi-weapon proficiency, she does not yet have. And then the expert, we're going to tag both of those. Overpower, these are all heavy weapons, which I did have her do in my last game. She did a really good job with it. 2 extra movement points. That's a very low one, but I can see it near the end of the game. And let's see, there was something else I thought we were going to grab. Where's the one that gives her... Oh, she doesn't do parry. That's right. Okay, so which one are we taking now? Great question. I think it's the one that uses her demolition. Demolition engineer. We're going to take that one. Because her intelligence is only 30. Her demolition skill is 60. So she's already got a much better bonus to her area attacks with that. So I know that was a lot of time, and it's sort of how it goes. But there we are.
Stay sharp.
Hardest difficulty. We're still alive so far. It's just the prologue. Anyways, I don't know how interested people are in another playthrough of this game. I don't even know if I have the bandwidth to do this, but all I know is that I was playing Pathfinder War of the Wrath of the Righteous, and I was bored. I just cannot get into that game, and I definitely see why people like it. I just kept wanting to play this game, so that's what I'm doing, and so I'm at least sharing that with you, at least on how to start your party and how to plan your party for dealing with hardest difficulty. You know, how does it shake out? Well, I'm not going to know until I play it, and I'm at least trying to share that. I could try to, like, maybe pause the video to spare you some of the boring stuff, but anyways, for now, at least have this video. Thanks for watching. Stay awesome.